Hi, my name is Miss Hunter or Professor Hunter, whichever you choose to call me is okay, and I will be your English 102 professor for this spring semester. Um, this is going to be just a short course overview where I give you some important information and, what you expect to get out of the course. Um, so don't mind me looking over because I'm going to be reading from some things off my other screen. First, we're going to start with a brief overview of the course. You know, um, Module 1 will begin with something called Blogging the Book Club. In this module, we'll begin our study of genre by reviewing rhetorical concepts from English 101 as a way to introduce our study of genre, because genre is going to be the big thing we're studying in this class. We'll consider how genres and their conventions are defined by social needs and play a role in effective communication. We're going to establish foundational skills for critical thinking, such as close reading, uh, to develop a blog post based on your observations. And most importantly, this module is not going to look for you to come up with a correct answer, so per se, but it will encourage you to explore our short stories and guide the reader through our explorations. So that's going to be what Module 1 is about. Um, Module 2 is going to be films, context, and research. In this module, we'll continue our study of genres through a study of film trailers, which I find quite exciting. My research is in film and media, so I hope to deliver, a lot of good stuff to you in this unit. We're going to consider how genre can be used to discuss texts across mediums and modes, because remember, a text isn't just a book. A film can be a text. A painting can be a text, We're going to explore how context as part of rhetorical situations allow for cross-genre analysis. To support your analysis and explore context, we will practice finding, reading, and using quality scholarly sources. So, that's going to mean scholarly sources from the library, not just, posts on the Daily Mail or, New York Times, uh, or in different news sites. We're going to, genuinely use scholarly sources. So that's Unit 2, Module 2. And in Module 3, it's going to be proposing an adaptation. So in our final module, you'll combine your knowledge about genre and rhetoric with new information about visual rhetoric in order to propose a genre-specific film adaptation of one of the short stories from Module 1 that we read. We will learn about the specific genre of film posters as a form of visual rhetoric, the posters themselves, and your group will research genres, conventions, and interpretations in order to support your adaptation choices. So, we will be this class is heavy group work, so you should prepare for that and to, get to know your classmates and be ready to work in groups with them. That's, a brief overview of the course. What you're going to hope to get out of this is, that knowledge about genres that I just talked all about, genres and their conventions and interpretations, and, how, genre affects rhetoric, and vice versa. That's what we're going to, try to get out of the course, to increase your knowledge on rhetoric and genre specifically. To get to some important information about the course syllabus, I'm just going to go over the most important stuff because we'll go over that the first day. But the, as, let's see what's most important. Probably, talking about generative AI. Don't use AI in this class. This class is all about research, and coming up with your own, words to describe things. Uh, and really, it's, all about, your thinking and your thoughts on things. So please do not use AI, because you will be given a 0 for that, and possibly worse. You know, it's use of AI is technically plagiarism, which can be grounds for expulsion. I don't like. I don't. I hope not to have to do that. I like to, if someone accidentally does use AI, I like to just start by giving them a 0 if they're honest with me. But if they don't want to be honest about what they did, we can always take that to the higher ups, which will constitute grounds for expulsion if you're found to have been using AI. Um, uh, you know, the course requirements, you'll spend probably about 9 hours a week on the course material and activities between time spent in the class and outside of the classroom. So this will include a variety of daily homework assignments, such as reading and annotating various texts, in addition to drafting, writing, and revising writing assignments. So, we will be reading and writing in this course, and we'll be reading more stories than, textbook material. That's why all of your information, um, all the things you need to read are going to be on D2L, so you won't have to buy a textbook for this class. Um, there's going to be 4 different types of assignments: daily assignments, which is going to be your classroom activity; your short writing assignments, which are shorter informal assignments which will allow you to practice skills and explore ideas that will directly assist each major writing assignment. There are going to be multiple of those throughout each unit, leading up to your major writing assignment. Your major writing assignments are going to be academic essays or projects requiring research, some of them. These are formal assignments and will be the result of a full unit's worth of work, and they make up a majority of your course grade. So do your best on these, and really put the work in for them. And revision and reflection assignments. So these assignments are going to be provided through the course as part of a daily work or the final itself. The final itself is going to be a revision of something from the first unit. And in these, you'll be asked to reflect upon your work as a part of the writing process, or make revisions to your work based on these reflections. So your major writing assignments are going to be 70% of your grade. Your first one's going to be 15%, second one 20%, and your third one is going to be 25%. And then the final itself is going to be only 10%. So your major writing assignment 3 is going to be, worth a little bit more than your final. So really focus in on that major writing assignment 3. Our short writing assignments are only going to be 12% of your grade. Peer review assignments are going to be 8%, and then class participation and daily engagement is going to be 10% of your grade. So late work, essays submitted within the first 24 hours after the deadline are only going to be penalized by 10%, but essays submitted after that within 30 days of the assignment deadline will be penalized 25%, and then no assignments will be accepted after 30 days. And if there are less than 30 days left in the semester, then the last accepted date will be the final exam. Extensions, life happens, so I will try to accommodate you on anything you need extension wise. A big part of my class is I like to make it a safe space for everyone, especially a disability safe space as a disabled person myself. So if you have any issues with disability that might impact your work, come and speak to me, and we will work out, exactly, um, you know, a plan to fit your needs for the class. I don't require a note from up above, because I know how hard those are to get, and I know, just how hard things can be. So, just have an honest conversation with me, and we'll figure things out for you. Um, so laptops are going to be allowed in the classroom for note-taking purposes, but you shouldn't be, using them for, to buy things online, or, um, things that'll distract your other classmates if they're looking on your screen. And while cell phones need to be kept away as much as possible, I do understand that there are many cases which you might have to use your phone. Um, so let me know during the start of class if you might have to, do this during class, and please, um, step out into the hallway if you need to make a call or do anything on your phone so you don't distract your classmates. Because I want to keep the class a mostly phone-free environment so that students can focus and, stay locked into, what we're doing in class. Um, so I've talked a little bit about the assignments and grading policy, where to find the important information. It's all going to be on D2L and your content. So, if you go in content and look in your modules, it'll all be there. That's where you'll find the calendar. That's where you'll find all your readings. Everything's going to be on D2L under content and in their proper modules. So, that's where you're going to go to find things. And there will be links provided for everything. And details of how to get started and navigate the course. Just come, prepared to learn and, read and write. We will be, our first day, obviously, going over the syllabus. So that will help, explain a lot more about this course. But to get started, you can go in your course content, and, you can look over this video. There's a course overview I have. I have information about myself, and, requirements for, the class that are all provided within that module. So that's where you can go to find, how to get started in this course, and, what this course is going to be like. I hope this was a very informative video, and I want to welcome you all formally to English 102. Thank you.